All right. Freaking Wednesday. Here we are. And right before we went on the show, JB has put up the challenge.
Oh my God.
We're gonna do a race on Forza. He's gonna use his controller. I'm gonna use my new sim racing setup. That's right. Everything I said about sim racing and have made fun of those people, I was all wrong. It's 100% wrong. Sim racing is it's freaking awesome, super awesome.
There we go.
So awesome. I managed to fracture my wrist doing it. Broke my wrist playing a video game. What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday, and we're back. Sorry,
Welcome to the shit that needs to be said show.
Yeah, sorry I had to miss last week. It was I got slammed with work, and I literally was like doing 16, 17-hour days out here in the office trying to get all that shit done. And man, in the immortal words of Chevy Chase in Fletch 2, it takes a big man to admit that he's wrong. And I am not a big man.
Right.
Yeah, I was actually telling JB that that's the hardware for my wheel stand. You know, NorCal, my wife
My wife threatened to leave me.
my wife gave me the green light.
I'd look at her and be like, "Don't threaten me with a good time."
Yeah, she gave me the green light. I mean, I'm a video gamer as it is, and I do play a lot of racing video games. I mean, Forza and Formula One and World Rally. And the one thing I've always bitched about is that you go into some of the online lobbies and you get into races where you can clearly see that you're racing against somebody who's got like a full-blown sim setup. And here I am on my little Xbox controller, like, and I get smoked. And it's like, man, that's bullshit. That's cheating. It's cheating is what that is. So no more. I had to get one. That, and I got a chance to go spend some time in a real simulator over the weekend.
Me and the game are happy now. Oh yeah.
The full-blown simulator rigs they're ridiculous. Ridiculous. I got to go in one that was set up where it had an actual like IndyCar cockpit in it, and that's how I fractured. Was getting out of the cockpit, my hand slipped, and I banged my hand on the side of it like an idiot.
Thanks for joining us, Earl.
Mr. Brown, Earl, Recreations, Sofa King. Did I see somebody in there? Else in there? Cape Cod is in here tonight. What's happening, everybody?
So it wasn't like you were rocking through the gears too hard or anything. You were just trying to get out of the cockpit of the car and you broke your wrist.
I'm old and I'm fat and I don't move around as good as I used to. And they convinced me that I had to wear actual racing gloves. And I put my hand on there and they like fucking wax the shit out of the thing. And my hand literally like slipped. And I tried to brace myself as I was falling over, and I just smacked my hand on the side of it like a retard.
You get Dr. Lewicki to come in and clear you for the next race. It's no problem.
Yeah. Yeah, Sophie King, I got a like a direct drive setup that is probably gonna snap my freaking wrists off. They did not make me wear a helmet, but they did strap me in with harnesses.
Hola, our Spanish-speaking propaganda.
It does move around quite a bit. And if you, I spun the car several times. I ran 20 or so laps at Michigan, and then I ran like 50 laps at Indian. I crashed one at Michigan, coming at a turn 4, kinda, and I just kind of looped the car and went down to the infield. The Indy, I spun out like 4 or 5 times, and the impacts are violent. It was I was a little bit surprised when I hit the inside wall at Indy, probably like 190 miles an hour. And had I not been wearing the harnesses, I think that thing probably would have ejected me out of the simulator. But oh man, big shout out to Keith and Jay for inviting me and letting me do that. That was freaking cool. Not to mention, got to hang out with my old buddy. Got to meet a couple of the kids.
Nice.
And which is pretty cool. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So now I'm hooked. Now I haven't gone like full blown cockpit rig or anything like that. I'm just something to put
the steering wheel and the pedals and little shifter.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, and I didn't go like super expensive or anything. I did go to Fanatec because I recognized the name. And I was honestly, I when I started looking, I was even more shocked than before when I was like, oh yeah, somebody that spends $10,000. That's $10,000 is nothing. It's nothing for a sim rig. You could spend $10,000 and not even have an operating.
Dude, how many people play Gran Turismo? I never played. I mean, I played like Gran Turismo once. Like, I can't believe I guess tons of like in the whole movie that came out with Gran, I didn't even know that it was like a whole thing.
Well, Gran Turismo is PlayStation's Forza. Well, I mean, Gran Turismo was around before Forza.
Forza, yeah, it's been around for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it was the sort of like the default console racing game, and they went for a while in between, because I think Gran Turismo 7 is out now, but it's been like 3 or 4 years.
Oh shit! I thought we were up to 8 or 9.
No, that's Forza's. Forza's kept up, but I think it was like Forza 2 or Forza 3 was when it kind of overtook Gran Turismo as like the console racing game.
JM in the house, Chainsaw joining us.
What's happening, JM? Chainsaw? And I mean, it really is. It's basically whatever console you have, depends on what you're playing. As I know, PlayStation is still the king of consoles as far as number of units sold, but
I don't know. Every time we start talking about video games, these guys dip. I don't know how hard you want to go up into this.
I mean,
what were you guys up to last week? Let us know while we shoot the shit.
Oh, I mean, we got another Axial rig in the last 2 weeks. We got the new Jeep CJ7.
Oh, that's right, the CJ. Yeah, they're neat looking. I mean, for another Jeep, because you're gonna say it for another Jeep. For another Jeep, it doesn't look too bad. I mean,
I like what Axial did with it. They didn't put it on portals. They didn't do anything kooky with it. They made a basic SCX-10.3 and put a reasonably nice scaled Jeep body on it. But
see, I knew you were good at the blow games, Earl.
I think had it been like another Jeep Rubicon or something like that, I think everybody would have been like, all right, enough, guys. To Cherokee, Rubicon,
No, the
all
LCJ is cool, especially for the fact that you can stick your guy in there and see him.
it's got a full
They
it's got
didn't
a full
go on
interior.
the scale aspect of it. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I don't know how well it crawls or anything. I mean, I don't own one. But
I'm sure it crawls as good as any of the axials do out of the box. Oh shit! Sofa King's mom worked on the original Atari. That was I remember my sister, who's 4 years older than I am. When we got the Atari, we got two games with it: Space Invaders and
I remember Space
uh,
Invaders.
Watch was the other game. It was the other game that basically there was the first two games that came out with it: Space Invaders and something else. It was kind of goofy, but I remember my sister started playing Space Invaders, and she kept getting up to the part where she almost turned the score over to 0. And for like 6.5 hours straight, she played Space Invaders trying to get the score to turn over until she eventually managed to get the score to turn over, which was
Pitfall. Let's see. There was quite a few. Jesse Baker in the house.
what's up, Jesse? Yeah, Pitfall was fun. That was a good game. And now on Amazon, they have it's the little stick thing that you can plug into your television, and it has a bunch of the old Atari 2600 games on it.
Yeah, the Portal thing. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, is it? I don't know. I don't know. I understand why people want portals on their rigs. I get it. It works really well. I mean, it gives you an extra little bit of clearance, and there's a little bit of added down torque there and stuff. I mean, it's nice, but
Mostly I like the. I mean, when they sell the body by itself, that will be. I mean, I'm sure they're going to probably sell it for close to $100 because that seems to be where they're at with all of the bodies with molded plastics. That would be a worthwhile body to buy to put on another rig.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because the SCX-10 honestly, I've never been that very much impressed with it to begin with.
I wonder if you could find like a Slash or something to put that on.
The other one that is that Kyosho, they have the Toyota TRD, but it's on more of it's more like a Slash rather than it's definitely not a crawler. It's it's more of a speed basher kind of rig, but the body looks super, super good on it.
That's not that Rampage, is it?
No, it's the Kyosho Toyota TRD. And it's like stupid green color and silver, but the body looks awesome because they made the fenders flared out and everything, and it looks, for a Lexan body, it looks it looks great. One of those where I'm willing to bet a ton of people will buy, if Kyosho offers the body by itself. A ton of people will buy that and throw them on crawler.
I keep looking down because I got both chats open and I keep checking both chats. That's the thing.
I got nothing. I got nothing open.
So far, only Earl's redacted a message, so that's fine. I'm fine with him taking back what he said because I don't like what Earl says anyways. So no, I'm messing. But yeah, the portals, I don't know about the CJ. I don't know. It's like, so they went scale with the inside and everything. So you go all that route, but then you throw portals on it. It's like, well, okay, is it a modern vehicle or is it a classic vehicle? I can't tell.
Well, I think the idea was because it's got like armor on the back.
I think it was supposed to be functional.
I think it was, they wanted it to look like kind of a souped up CJ7. Like it wasn't just rolled off the factory floor. It was kind of a
coil over.
Yeah, like a not stock where somebody had thrown some upgrades into it, which, if you were so inclined, throwing some portals in your Jeep would
I
be.
wonder how much that would do. That'd probably cost you a pretty penny. What are portals today? 10 grand a piece? Are they that expensive nowadays? I don't even know.
Pretty easily. I mean, for a solid good axle, because I think like Curry's axle housing, I think they're like 12 or 13 grand without anything in them. Just
wow.
The housing by itself.
I have to remove my bad comments. My glass is always half empty anyway.
That's why I have such a big cup.
Sofa King bought himself batteries and tires for Christmas. Merry Christmas. If you install them or get someone to do, I think that's just if they sell them to you and send them on a pallet. Like, here you go.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah, that's if you want to drive to the Curry factory and throw them in the back of your truck and drive them home. And
if you want somebody to install that shit, you're gonna pay a lot more. That's gonna be like $25,000 a piece.
Yeah, I mean that's they're pricey, and that's probably not even a portaled anything. That's just.
Well, you still have to pay for the bearings and the axles and all the labor to put that together and then stick it on the truck. And I mean, then the alignment and all that good shit. I mean, there's a lot there that, I don't know if anyone's ever put coilovers on a Jeep before, but that's not an easy thing to do. It's not just like something where you take the fucking axles down and weld coilovers on. It's not.
No, Jesse, I run almost exclusively associated shock oil.
I like that question. Shock oil, what's that? So lately I've taken all the oil out of my shocks, and I mean I run in droop now. But it's not trail ride. That's just rock crawling.
Just straight rock crawling.
So let me make that clear.
I run almost exclusively associated oil. Just of my own stupid brand loyalty thing. I'm an associated guy, so also because it used to be that Lucas supplied.
I thought they still did.
I don't know if they do or not. Lucas has scaled a bunch of stuff back now that the Sun has taken over. I know that
I'm a fan of Team Associated oil. I use their diff fluid and stuff like that all the time. So
yeah, I mean it's what I've used for decades, and it's always worked. I
said it, and then Sofa King asked for it. Look at that. Diff fluid. Who needs diff fluid? Yeah, it's just run them dry. Just fuck it.
I really wish that Chinese rub down for those with snacks.
You need to give me a gift card the next time you go in there, all right?
Ask if they got any coupons.
You got a friend who's looking for a happy ending.
I really wish that they would stick with the oil weight instead of going to the CST measurements. I don't, it's kind of like if America just switched to fucking metric right now.
Right.
Why now? Why bother? We've been on the imperial system for so long. What does it matter? Who cares? We have some stuff that's in metric, but yeah, like oils, come on. Everybody that lives in cold weather knows that you put, 2050 weight in your car. And now all of a sudden the RC industry wants to change it to, well, it's got to be, 40 CST.
Well, I understand that, if you set your shocks up right and you got the right kind of oil, you're going to have what you're looking for as the reaction out of your suspension, I guess, is what we're trying to obtain here. But, honestly, I got to ask you, I mean, does it really matter on a 10 scale vehicle? How much are we really, I mean, what kind of a difference, even if we're competition crawling and we're super serious about what we're doing, I'm still like, I'm not sure that shock oil plays a huge part in this.
For crawling, no. Like you said, you don't even have to run oil in your shocks for a droop setup because the suspension is moving. Basically, all you have to have is enough lube inside the shock so that it doesn't just...
So it moves. Yeah.
So it moves and it's not just tearing up the freaking piston and inside of the shock body. Because it's moving so slowly that it's not really having that.
But unless you're out there just hammering on the throttle and jumping off the rocks.
Which that would be where, if you're trailing.
That's what I tell you to put in a suspension. Yeah, you better put in some springs and shit.
If you're trailing and doing all of that, then you're going to, and even like I'd say my Bomber's a pretty good example because my Bomber pretty much I have set as a full droop. It still has oil and it's, it has slightly shorter springs so that it sits a little lower, but it's in droop because most of the time I was just crawling with it, but I left just enough suspension in it so that if if I went off of something and the suspension went completely out, when it came back in, there was enough to have suspension and dampening in there so that it wasn't just slamming down on the shocks. But yeah, I mean, if you're,
I definitely think it's a personal preference, but I'm also of the opinion, I mean, it just leaks out like Sofa King says here. I don't know about it. Some people have good luck. Some people say I use the slime seal shit and blah blah blah, and
I use the associated slime, and I generally have very good luck with shocks.
I do not. I still suck it up somehow. Maybe I just suck at building shocks.
Wally World and grocery store run. Whew, propaganda. I feel you, man. Freaking groceries right now. They're a killer.
Racing is the only thing I mess with shocks and suspension on, JM.
Yeah. I mean, my Go Fast rigs, the Baja Ray, the Typhon, those, I pay attention to shock oil. Not a lot. I make, I
just feel like this starts to sound like one of them. I mean, if I'm just being frank and honest here with you guys, it just sounds like one of them team fucking driver things or some shit like that. Like, I run 30 weight shock oil and blah, blah. Well, I just watched the kid with the Danchi crawl the same line you fucking did.
For crawling, there is, I made a whole video about suspension setup and I actually made 3 videos, and in the first segment of it, I actually said that specifically, like if you're crawling, the only thing that the weight of the oil is doing for you is how fast you want your suspension to be able to move. Like if you go over a rock and you kind of flop, if the front end just falls down on you, or if you want it to sort of slowly work its way out, or if you get in a situation where you're tipping the truck somewhere and you want the suspension to not like spring the back of the truck up and throw you over, nose wise.
Yes, in bashing, oil makes a huge difference, especially if you're trying to do the high jumps or the long jumps and land that shit.
Yeah.
You got to get
you put oil in your crawler shocks like once every 5 years.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm of the opinion too, where it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If the son of a bitch is still going,
if you put it on your shelf and the next time you take it out, there's a puddle of oil under the shock oil under the truck, then pop the tops off and dump some oil in there, just whatever you have laying around.
Chassis slap it. Yeah, you gotta watch with the chassis slap when you're landing a basher, because that's how you bend the motor shaft and all that. That's why I say you got to get that oil right. The other thing to do with chassis slap is to make sure you stick some kind of cushion underneath the end of the motor. Don't just let it hang out there from the mount.
Yeah, a little bit of the like the rubber mat.
Foam, anything you can shove in there.
The rubber mat that I have on my,
You just described all my armors.
Yeah, I did change the oil a couple of times in the Baja Ray.
What's the firmware update supposed to do?
You release a firmware for the Big Rock. So is that a firmware update for the ESC?
That's what I'm gonna.
More power, baby.
Yeah, like I ran a TRX4 for I don't know, almost 2 years before I even checked anything. And what happened was I ran it through mud, and then I sat it on the shelf, and then I tried to drive it again. Well, the mud seized up like fucking cement on my truck, and it burned my motor out. So then I went through all my bearings and everything. But yeah, 907 joining us.
Hey, what's happening, Robert? Yeah, I did.
Brand new model need. Yeah, why does a brand? Yeah, that's a good question. Why does a brand new model need a firmware update? That's because whatever they did in the beginning, they realized didn't really work. I don't know.
It's all too common nowadays for companies to release products that are not
done. They're not done. It's just like video games. Video games come at you half done, half baked.
Earl says firmware for an issue people said I made up. Come on, Earl, stop making stuff up, man.
What people said you made it up.
Earl made up a problem, and then Arma fixed it.
Dude, I know how you feel, man. I know how you feel. I went and told people the truth. I showed people the truth. I even the dude who even lied came in here and basically blatantly showed you the truth, and nobody believes me. I mean, I get what you're saying.
You can lead a horse to water. Come on, man. So things all friggin' jacked up today over here.
He's a hacker now. That's right. You were paid. It was sabotage.
Yeah. Speaking of being,
I got Beastie Boys playing in the background now, just so y'all get the feel of what I'm got.
Speaking of being paid, the new the influencers with the new CJ7.
I can't do it. I can't watch these guys anymore.
I swear they're just flat sending them scripts now. Because they've either all gotten to the point where it's so cookie cutter to make review videos that they'll just say the same shit, or Axial and Horizon literally just sends them a script and says, this is what you need to say about this. We don't care what else you say in the video, but you got to include these things because our marketing department has done the research and the focus groups, and these are the words that need to be said to have maximum impact.
I'm not asking that question out loud, but no, oh my gosh, you're so funny.
How do you make a hormone? Put sand in your Vaseline.
I wanted to mention, JM said I didn't have a job I got a job.
Really?
I got a job. Yep. I'm crushing cans. It's so depressing.
I should have seen that one coming. Ooh, how do you organize?
I was thinking about. Go ahead.
How do you organize a space party? You plan it.
Oh. I was thinking about cleaning mirrors. I can really see myself doing it. Is that work from home?
I thought it was time for dad jokes. See, everybody misses dad jokes.
We got to bust them out every now and then.
What's the best way to watch a fly fishing tournament? Live stream.
Nice. That's the best.
Yeah, I can't believe the state of YouTube influencers at this point. It's pretty sad.
I can't do it. I can't do it, guys. I can't watch RC and YouTube anymore. I just can't. I'm to the point where everything just makes me so frustrated.
Which, by the way, I have been cleaning up my YouTube subscribe list. I was subscribed to so many channels. I want to say, what is today? Today is Wednesday, so it was Monday. I spent 40 minutes unsubscribing to all the YouTube channels that I've
How far did you get?
The A's. I got to the end of the A's.
I've worked on this several times for myself, and I'm still at like 997.
Yeah. I thought, like, you know how you start your unsubscribe, you got to go through. It's kind of a bullshit thing. It should be more like Instagram, where you could just go
just
through
select all,
unfollow, just click, where they don't ask you, are you sure you want to unsubscribe? Are you absolutely positive that you want to unsubscribe? Yeah, I wouldn't have clicked the unsubscribe button if I didn't want to unsubscribe. YouTube, you cocksuckers. And yeah, so I spent like 40 minutes unsubscribing, and I'm still, so that number never changed, because I think like 997 or 998 is just the highest that the counter will go to.
Oh, really? Is that
So
that might be where my problem is? Then
because I thought, like, when I got done, I like refreshed and went through, and I was like, it's still at 998. How can that be? I unsubscribed to like freaking 90 channels or some shit.
Tombstone for their dead member. I like that. Belt buckles. Belt buckles.
Like that. I like that. Belt buckles. I don't understand the big belt buckle thing. Never have. I understand, like, if you're a professional rodeo rider and they give them out as like a trophy.
I don't know. My dad might be able to chime in on this. He knows about big belt buckles.
I
don't
know. I thought 187 was a lot. Yeah, I never understood like giant belt, because I have a relatively small belt buckle and it's uncomfortable. I mean, partly my belly hangs over my belt a little bit, so if I had a great big like belt buckle, I would actually like be creating a cavity behind my belly with that. It might even cut into.
Yeah, try that in a small town. It's like, how do you bend over without cleaving yourself in half? It's a fashion thing. Yeah. Okay. See it. Yeah, and that's what I thought. It's a statement thing. It's something like you won that at a rodeo, and you got your big fancy belt buckle.
It's like wearing a Rolex.
You probably do it to like go to the bar, go to the bar, go dancing, right? I mean, you know. Shit, man! If I wore one, I'd be so small that you wouldn't see me behind it. That's the problem. Just be this belt buckle walking around.
Look like you were wearing one of those like advertisement things that you put over your body,
like a sign. You know.
Yeah.
Here's your sign. Like wearing Spurs to the nightclub. You're busting up our dance floor. Get the fuck out of here.
I was actually in a boot store
Fat girls love big buckles. 1,000 points to Cape Cod for the first real good zinger of the evening. I appreciate that one.
Domino's Pizza on his belt buckle. I was in a boot store, and it's kind of funny. So, Pigeon Forge is like it's like a miles long carnival midway. I guess is the best way to explain it. It's where Dollywood is at.
Okay.
But for several miles, there's like this straight road that goes through. For several miles, it's just mini golf, go-kart track, tchotchke stores, and this, that, and pancake restaurants. I've never seen more pancake restaurants in a place than Pigeon Forge. Like every fourth building is Pancake House.
No. This one's Waffle House, Doc.
No. Surprisingly, Pigeon Forge only has one Waffle House. Now I can tell you, Kingsport, we have 3 Waffle Houses. You can't spit without hitting a Waffle House in Kingsport.
Nice.
And the funny part is a lot of people tell me it's weird, but I like IHOP. I've always liked IHOP.
I don't know what the hell the deal is. All of a sudden, I'm reminded of Tank because now I want maple syrup. It's just it's some kind of French Canadian thing. Tank, please bring us your maple syrup. We're having waffles. And then you can go away.
Yeah, I don't get it. Here, nobody goes to IHOP. Waffle Houses would be fucking slammed, jam-packed full. IHOP, always empty. Always empty. And I mean, look, IHOP's better than their food is better than Waffle House. Waffle House food is shit. It just is. I mean, you can't pay like $3 for food nowadays and expect it to be anything other than shit. Not to mention.
Well, there's something we can talk about real quick, I imagine. IHOPs around here are gross as funk, huh?
Ours here is super nice.
The
Kingsport IHOP is like a legit restaurant. I mean, I know people on the West Coast don't know because they don't have Waffle Houses on the West Coast.
Right.
Waffle House is.
We've got a Waffle House here.
Waffle House is just it's a midnight place. It's where you eat after you go to the bar. There's literally nothing else open.
You went to the AC/DC concert. You were there till 1 a.m. Now we need to go home and sober up a little bit. Yeah, you go stop at the Waffle House.
Yeah. Now, like in California, we would stop at Taco Bell because they were open 24 hours.
God, 24 hours. Is there anything open? That's a good question. Is there anything open 24 hours anymore? Because I think there's one restaurant in town that might be, maybe.
Oh, Waffle Houses are open 24 hours.
Are they?
They never.
But I got to ask this question to you. This is the thing that I've noticed in the food service industry, especially fast food. Is it just me, or has there been like a much younger workforce that has taken over fast food? And
yes,
and for that matter, it seems like you go to Taco John's or Taco Bell or McDonald's or any, and they still manage to somehow fuck up your order.
Of course.
Like you first of all, you talk to a 12-year-old at the drive-up window. Is this just me, or is this everywhere? I'm assuming this is everywhere, but like I'm looking at this kid and I'm wondering if he's even got nut hair, because is this kid hit puberty, or is he old enough to work, or are we doing slave labor back there?
So we had when we were driving here from California, we stopped at a Carl's Jr. in New Mexico.
Okay.
And
New Mexico, great. All right.
So Albuquerque. So we go and we get out and we go inside. And I swear the kid that took my order they fucked our order up. Inside, they fucked our order up. But the kid that was working and taking order was so loaded on something, I could tell he only got like every fifth word. Because we had to repeat the order like 10 times to him. To the point where while I was standing there giving them the order, I'm looking at other people standing behind him like, you want to help him a little bit? He's struggling here. He's having a little trouble here. But that, and he looked like he was 12 years old. And it was kind of one of those, hey, you're too fucking young to be that high. And you're too high to be at work. Are you there using your, you use your app.
Well, and even on the app, so like, I mean, and maybe I'm just bitching. Hold on.
The beautiful attitude in business is shit. Yeah. By the way, welcome. It's good to see you. Oh, by the way, I got to mention it. This is there's not going to be a show for 2 weeks. I'm taking off for a couple of weeks. Not like taking off, but like next week, I already have a project for my day job lined up that is like a rush all week thing, as well as a side project job that's going to be going. So I'm going to be busy all day, and the only time I'm going to have time to work on my side project is in the evening, which is going to suck.
Don't you guys all look at me? I don't even get paid to be here. So,
and then the week after that is the week of Christmas, and I don't do anything the week of Christmas. I don't work. I don't have anything. It's just I shut everything off for a whole week.
And my burger was raw. I went to a pub, food first. Couldn't get our food out even remotely timely. See, and I've worked in restaurants. JB, no, like I said, man, unfortunately, I don't get paid to be here. I'm here on my free time too.
Yeah, I don't pay JB for this. I send him a bill every week.
And I'm kind of like, with the volunteer work, I kind of try to take that shit a little easier now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you're giving away your time, you want to be more selective with it.
You're tired of getting fucked in the ass.
Hey, Merry Christmas. Here it is, up to the elbow.
We booked, told them we were ready to order. Oh, wow. Yeah, see, that's ridiculous. If they already knew you were, I mean, especially in the kitchen. If I'd have known you were going to be there, I'd have prepped. Like,
I won't say the name of the restaurant, but last year around this time, we went to same Pigeon Forge, and we went into a fairly well-known restaurant chain and sat down. Busy. It's the holiday season. It's people on vacation, so it's kind of busy. I think we waited for like 15 or 20 minutes to get a table. Sit down at the table. Literally sat at the table for 45 minutes before our waiter showed up.
Wow.
For anything. We got to the point where we were like, did they forget we were here? And like, so finally our waiter shows up. It's like, oh, can I get you something to drink? It's like, yeah, and you can take our order because we've been sitting here for close to an hour. Like, we should have been almost finished eating by now. And he's like really apologetic, whatnot. Then it took him 15 minutes to come back with just the drinks. And it was like, oh, okay, obviously you don't give a shit about getting anything.
Either that or you haven't done this job.
It took us 2 hours and 20 minutes to eat dinner at a restaurant that didn't cost like, $150 a plate. They weren't serving us like a 5-course meal.
I haven't seen your swamp boat thing. Sorry. I haven't seen your swamp boat thing, but drop a link. A 5-course meal. I interrupted you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, normal restaurant where you go in, you get out. You're in and out like 45 minutes, done. But
Well,
yeah, 2.5 hours.
that's the way. I grew up in a tourist town. I grew up in Hill City, South Dakota, basically, for the most part. And that's where, I started working at a kitchen when I was 13 underneath the table doing dishes, you know. And yeah, eventually I did everything. I was front of the house, I was back of the house, I've been manager, I've run the board, I've done all of it. And it's one of those things when you're waiting tables, man. First of all, a 17 table, fuck, dude, that's money.
Yeah.
If I was waiting that table, I'd be all over it because I want a tip.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, I have not watched much YouTube here in the last bit. It's been a bit, but I definitely got to. I definitely got to check that out because swamp boats are badass.
He's gonna make me go to his channel, isn't he? What the fuck? Some idiots are letting off loads of fireworks, and it's like something in the morning, in the night.
23:15, so that's 11.
I don't know military time.
The only reason why I know military time is my wife runs on a 24-hour clock.
Oh, okay.
And she always, 13, 20, 13.
I think that's the way the rest of the world works. Is we just us Americans have 8-hour days.
Yeah, so she'll what time is it? Oh, it's 2:15. What is 2:15? 14:15. Quarter after 14.
Well, and it's like I want to think the best. This comment here from propaganda. They can't even work fast food. Dumb kids. I want to think the best of today's youth. Don't get me wrong. I'd like to think that they're okay, but I walked in to order Chinese takeout the other day. Just egg drop soup, simple $2 because that's about all I can afford. And this family came in, and this kid had a tablet in his hand, and he stood under. He was just tall enough to stand underneath the counter, and he was standing there with that tablet, and everybody went and sat down, but nobody noticed that he was still standing there with that tablet. And he stood there for another 10, 15 minutes until Dad came and got him and took him to the table. And I'm like, oh my Lord.
All I can say is I've said it before, propaganda. We have a lost generation. That's the millennial Gen Zs. They're lost. They're a lost cause. Pretty much people in that 30-year-old to 13-year-old range right now is in trouble. My daughter's 30, and she talks about dating, and she can't date anybody that's her age. And basically she only kind of dates older guys because the guys that are her age are just retarded. They're just.
Oh no, it's not like sorry.
Not to mention they've cucked so many young men nowadays that they've emasculated them. They're too afraid to say anything and be manly.
Need to teach some common sense. There's a good one I'd love to touch on, and that and you guys complain. Nobody wants to work. Well, you say minimum wage, but some of these guys are getting paid $20 an hour just for throwing burgers at you. Now,
that's California law now.
I think that nobody wants to work menial jobs is what it amounts to. We were, like I said, we are a generation raised on the fact that we might be rock stars. So who the fuck wants to flip burgers?
Well, and you have our generation telling our kids that if you want to be successful, you need to go to college, you need to get a college degree, you need to graduate, then you need to go get a good job. And somewhere along the lines, part of our generation lost the translation of, you're not going to get out of college and be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. You're going to start out in the mailroom, and you're going to work your way up. You're not going to make $150,000 a year straight out of college. So that's not how it works. Because straight out of college, you're still stupid. You're still not that much smarter than you were when you graduated from high school. But they all, I'm not gonna take this job paying me, $70,000 a year because I have a bachelor's degree in, butt plugology. I should be making 150. Well, then they bitch and moan because they can't find a job making $150,000 a year. And they bitch and bitch and bitch, and then they get to the point where, oh, well, now I can't pay my student loans back because I can't find a fucking job. Shouldn't have fucking taken the loans out.
Specialist provision? Yes, Snoop Dogg told me it's not because I'm white, it's because I'm not black.
Special provision now and actually teaching life skills. And see, I know that it's like in Norway, and it works for Norway because there's a lot fewer people there. I think there's only like 8 or 9 million people that live in Norway. But basically, when you turn like 13 or 14 in Norway, they kind of decide, hey, little Johnny or Sven, you're freaking smart. You're brilliant. You're going to be a rocket scientist. We're going to send you off to go learn how to be a rocket scientist. Little Dimitri, you are fucking retarded. We're going to send you over here to be a farmer.
That's what you do. Get some good rest.
Yeah, have a good evening, Uwa. But it works because they don't have kids that at 18 years old just automatically go off to college and da-da-da. They've actually kind of predetermined at 13 or 14, like, okay, look, you're not really that motivated at school. You don't like school. You're going to be a machinist.
They have a college course for Taylor Swift's new album. Are you messing with me, or is that true? That's hilarious. Either way, it's hilarious.
I wouldn't be surprised. That poor girl. I feel sorry for Travis Kelce. Because it sounds like that's a serious deal there, and he's gonna end up marrying that fucking nitwit.
No, it's true. That's
oh.
So I think Dad put it to me best. It's kind of like when we moved off the farm and entered the city. It's kind of like when shit kind of went to hell. And I gotta be like, I know that now his generation, what they taught him how to change a tire in automotive. Fuck, dude, we didn't even have our driver course was like, hey, do you know how to make a left turn? Here you go.
I remember my driver's ed class was two classes that we had it before school. So for 2 days in a row, I had to go to school early, and they were 30 minutes long, and both of them each class was just a movie. And it was a 30-minute movie of turn the ignition key to the start position, then let go of it. It goes to the on position. It was really rudimentary. And then we had driver's training, which was 2 sessions with a driving instructor, where they had one driver instructor and 3 of us in the car, and each one of us would take turns driving for 10 minutes. And they took us out to bumfuck nowhere where there was nobody else around, and all right, drive down here, use turn signal, use your brakes, use turn signal, turn, use your brakes, all right, you good. And after the second time, they're like, okay, you passed, you're ready to go take your driver's test.
Clamp it to the mouth.
And I took my driver's test at the time when they still made you do parallel parking.
Nice.
Which they don't even make you do parallel parking.
No, they don't make you do that anymore.
But yeah, I remember I had to ask my dad, he was like, oh, here's the little booklet because we went to the DMV, and he got me the little booklet for the test. And I had to read the booklet. And I'm like, Dad, what is parallel parking? And he's like, oh, it fucking sucks. Enjoy that.
Enjoy that.
It's like, what do you mean? It's when you got to park in between 2 cars. Oh, okay. All right. You'll figure it out.
Get a belt buckle for parallel parking.
Yeah.
Look down. That's funny. You guys are funny.
Clampett's going to Maui. Yeah, recreation when when the whole government sells everything and buys everything from the lowest bidder. That's why we sent fucking troops to Iraq in 2003 with Hummers that had like no fucking armor plating on them. Like, oh hey, Hummer, did you guys intentionally forget to put armor in the armor-plated trucks that we ordered, or did you do? Oh, we have to pay extra for that. Oh, okay.
He told you one stall or a rollback is a fail. People stall and roll all the time, man.
Damn, that's harsh. Yeah, I took my driver's test in my mom's Datsun B210 station wagon.
I don't even remember what I was driving.
Which was a manual. But they didn't tell me rollbacks or anything. I just remember when I had to parallel park that thing, trying to put that thing into reverse. Because I think that car was like 15 years old when I took the driver's test in it. So it was pretty well used up. Yeah, I used to fight fires in a low bid truck wearing low bid protective gear. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's kind of scary when you think about it. Most of the planes, the airliners that you fly in, lowest bidder. Our country's defense is basically based around, well, you can't really say that because a lot of the defense budgets and those contracts are not even bid.
The boomers sold the country out for campers, and they still lost money on the deal.
$4.8 billion per F-35.
Wasn't that one of the ones that we lost?
We lost one of those this summer. The pilot ejected and they kept flying for like 45 minutes. That's what happens when you make a jet like a smartphone. Hey, man, I don't need you. I'll just keep going. Yeah, which reminds me, AI. AI's getting more fucking scary.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When are they going to set? Has nobody ever watched the movie's fucking Terminator? Have you ever never watched this fucking movie? Skynet, you dummies. You're building Skynet. You're making the fucking movie come true. You knuckleheads. Eventually, the robots are just going to start building themselves and they're going to come and kill us all. Or they're going to stick us in little squishy containers and use us as batteries.
I think Stephen Hawking said it best when he said that AI will either be the best thing we do or the worst thing we do.
Took a long time. And see, you know what? Propaganda makes a good point. It is so that everything has gotten so skewed and so screwed up nowadays that somebody who has spent the time to learn how to do something that is difficult, heavy machinery operator is not. I mean, if you've ever walked up and looked at one of the freaking cabs for one of those things, there's like 9,000 buttons and switches in there.
I got this. We're just going to go over to Google and we're going to get ourselves a little Google certification. I ain't never done this before, but I guarantee I can get Google certified in about 45 minutes. And then, I can do anything, right? That's
for some things. I know, because I did it myself, I still have my forklift certification. You literally get forklift certified in like 15 minutes online. But before we moved out of California, the company I was working for, um, we did structural steel, so we had cranes. We were using cranes all the time, and so I knew quite a few of the operators and whatnot because you use the same guys over and over and over again, and it's 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 sad. It's sad that we have made some of the more difficult jobs to do seem so menial. Like guys in the trade, electricians, plumbers, drywall,
Well,
tapers,
I'm
framers.
talking about what I was kind of trying to make fun of was the fact that it took, it does take time. It takes experience to learn these things so you get
Yep.
it right when you do it. And the thing about it is like, yeah, for that rookie kid who comes in who wants 150,000 some dollars a year, who just has a Google search, he's never even sat in the machine before, man. Like, you serious? That's the kind of shit that's going on nowadays. We got kids who have never even seen a cold burger ever, never even been inside of a walk-in. You tell them to go to the walk-in and grab some burgers, and what's a walk-in?
Like we used to have, so in Ventura Community College had a welder program, a welding certification program. So you could go in and just like any college course, you could go in and take the welder certification course, which was over a semester, or I think over 2 semesters. You could go through, you learned how to weld, you got to learn everything. By the time you got done with your first semester, you could take a certain level of certification, so that at that point you could go out and get like an entry level welder job.
Right,
And then if you
level.
continued on,
Yeah.
you would get a higher level welder cert at that point, which means you could basically get bumped up in salary at that point. But I shit you not, we had kids that would come off the street and they would come in, they just passed their first certification, which means you know how to weld just good enough to not fuck a bunch of shit up. And they're coming in there like, I want $40 an hour. Bitch, fucking journeyman welders with the union get paid $40 an hour, $50 an hour. You're gonna get 12. And they would be like insulted and walk out. Like, dude, I will put you side by side with a guy who's been welding for 15 years who will teach you more in 15 minutes that you learned that entire 4 months of class. Blah, blah, and yeah, it was staggering how many times we had guys that wouldn't even, they would just seriously just walk out when you tell them, yeah, this is how much you're going to get paid. And like in the case where we had somebody that came in, because we go through and make them take a test, go out there and weld, do this, and if you can pass this and this and this test, then we'll start you out at this much. If you can't, well, we'll make you a helper, and we'll teach you, and we'll learn you, and then you'll get up to that point. It's like, fuck. It isn't junior softball. It isn't pee-wee football. You don't get a trophy for finishing.
Send to the kid for the freezer looking for. I like that one, Jam. That's good.
Vegas team.
Not bad.
And JM, they have done quite a bit to slow the ordaining down.
I remember that too. Like, yeah, you just run around and marry people and do this and that and the other. And
it got to the point where there were all these super smart guys that were out there teaching people how to get ordained, so they didn't have to pay taxes. And what essentially that wasn't how it worked. It was kind of like one of them internet myths where just because you're ordained doesn't mean you have a church. It doesn't mean you're nonprofit. It just means you're ordained. You can legally marry somebody. You can do this. There are certain things that you can write off being an ordained minister, but you work a normal 9-to-5 job, but you're ordained. You're like, fuck, I don't have to pay taxes anymore. It's awesome. A lot of people got in trouble for that. A lot of people got burned on their taxes. Oops. Yeah, when you don't pay taxes, the IRS gets a little upset.
Yeah, they get a little touchy about that.
They get a little upset. They want their money.
Touchy about that.
$33 trillion. That's how much debt the United States is in. If you took all the money that everybody had in the United States right now, the net worth of the United States is only $20 trillion. So we owe $13 trillion more than we actually have collectively.
It's crazy.
It's awesome.
It's crazy talk. That's crazy.
The bill comes due. Just remember that going into 2024.
Yeah. Everybody keeps saying this to me. I'm scared as shit.
2024 could
2024 is the year of hell.
Yeah, the bill comes due. Always
the Church of the Coffee Cup. Yeah, I remember that one. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember there was a
but how much has gone overseas? That's a good question. How much have we given away to Ukraine recently?
Right now, Ukraine, I think we're at 140 billion that we've given.
Oh, that's a drop in the bucket.
And I mean, what we've given to Ukraine's nothing. I mean,
out of the trillions of dollars, that's a drop in a bucket. That's nothing.
I did see something that was funny, was the 550 billionaires that we have in the United States. If you were to amass all of their wealth together, they would be able to fund the United States government for 5.5 months.
You got to go. You can't leave. You're not allowed to.
Oh, minus 500 points for leaving early. Recreation.
Thanks for being here, Rack. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, man. Thank you. Have a great Christmas. Have a great New Year's. January 3rd. That'll be when we're back. January 3rd. Because I have to give JB a vacation for not getting paid.
May you survive the holidays. How's that? Good luck to you, sir.
I'm super stoked for Christmas this year. We decorated the house like we normally do. The first couple Christmases we had here were kind of rough. Things were not that great, and this year we have been blessed, and so this year we had more of the Christmas spirit. So we got out all the Christmas decorations and even bought a couple new ones, and we have done up the inside of the house. I did not put up any Christmas lights outside this year, partially because it's too damn cold. It's too damn cold, and I didn't feel like it. Plus, we have this giant oak tree that is halfway down the hill.
Yeah.
Basically, from the street, you can't see our house. A little bit you can, but most of it's blocked off. And last year, I noticed when we had the Christmas lights up, like when we would go and I would come home and the Christmas lights are on, I was like, you can't even tell there's any freaking Christmas lights up there.
Right. So
this year, I was kind of like, we'll do the inside of the house because that's the part that matters. We see it. Who cares about the outside and the neighbors anyhow? And yeah, my notes are.
Did you have notes? Did you even have?
They're completely useless because they're like from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I had here George Santos. He was the congressman that got ejected. They booted him out.
Oh yeah.
Second time in history that we've ever booted a congressman, actually like thrown him out. And the funny thing is he actually hasn't been convicted of anything. No, he hasn't been convicted of doing anything wrong. There are questions and there's an investigation, an ethics investigation about him lying about some stuff, including his past, but he actually hasn't been convicted of anything. And the even funnier part is Mendez, who is another congressman from New Jersey, who's actually been under investigation for the last year and has actually been charged with several things. His house was raided about a week and a half ago, and they found some gold bars in it that they traced back to like one of the largest gold heists in New Jersey's history. And he is one of the main guys that pushed for Santos to get booted out of Congress. This is what's happening in the United States House of Representatives. The Democrat gets the Republican kicked out because he lied about his past, while he himself has been charged with taking bribes. And now when they have a search warrant on his house, they actually find gold bars from a heist. You could make movies about. They should make movies about shit like this. It would probably be better than half of the movies they're putting out now, anyhow. We
just throw in a cocaine bear and we got it made.
An RIP to Adrian Brower, actor. He died at 61. He was. I don't remember what he was in, but I remember him from a bunch of shit. Guy's been on TV like forever. Yeah, that was kind of a weird one. The other weird one that happened was there was the house in Virginia that they haven't exactly said what the Virginia police were serving a search warrant on the house. It had something to do with sex trafficking, but while they were outside getting ready to search to have the search warrant, the house exploded. It exploded.
Kaboom! Huh?
Like, holy shit, that's a big ass explosion.
I'm gonna have to see
when
that.
You see a gas station explode in a movie, that's what the explosion looked like. Like, okay.
Well, that was obviously very deliberate.
Yeah, also in the last 2 weeks, the good senator from the state of Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn, put a subpoena in for the Epstein flight logs, and Dick Durbin spiked it. Then, the same day that he spiked it, he got interviewed by a reporter from, I want to say, like Town Hall or The Hill or something like that, where she was walking down the hall, and she asked him, hey, why did you do so-and-so? Why did you spike this bill subpoenaing for the Epstein flight logs? I don't even know what you're talking about. I never saw it. And Marsha Blackburn called him out on the floor of the Senate for, like, why did you lie to that reporter that you didn't know anything about that? You never heard about it. You were here sitting in the chairman's seat when I petitioned for the subpoena, and you agreed to allow a petition for the subpoena. And then you lied when you got reported. Bigger thing is, why are the Democrats trying so hard to keep Epstein's flight logs from becoming public? Because it is, in fact, the Democrats. Republicans want this information out. Just like January 6 videotapes, they wanted it out. And Democrats kept stalling. Just saying, 2,000 kids a day, you would think,
man,
the politician wouldn't want to go against that at all.
Sooner or later,
they'd be like, fuck yeah, let's get them flight logs out.
Later, people are going to need to be held accountable for this shit. I mean, anyways.
Crazy shit that has happened in the last couple of weeks. Oh yeah, the other one was remember in the BLM riots,
vaguely
in Atlanta,
right,
they were rioting, and they burned the Wendy's to the ground. Yeah, because I guess, fuck Wendy's.
Yeah, fuck having a chocolate frosty or some chicken nuggets or something.
Your square patties and your Frosties.
God damn, dude. Really?
So they burned it to the ground.
It's the only place to get a decent Frosty in town. You had to burn it to the ground.
So they caught CCTV. They caught the two guys that burned the Wendy's to the ground.
Oh,
Do you know what happened to both of those guys?
they got jobs as fry cooks.
They got a $500 fine.
That's it.
That's it. There is a guy that is currently serving a 15-year prison sentence for being outside of the Capitol building on January 6th. He never even went inside. He was outside. 15 years he got. Violent insurrectionist. You bastard. But you burn down a fucking institution like a Wendy's, and that's a $500 fine.
Is this what did I've heard this before? Don't rock the boat.
I mean, what
Rock
a
the
crock of
boat.
shit that is. Oh, hey, by the way, I forgot to mention this. Last time I got a speeding ticket was in California. And I want to say that it was like a 55 in a 35 zone. One of those. So it was like a speed trap ticket. Okay. But I do remember that it cost me like $400 for that freaking ticket.
Woo.
And I had to go to traffic school, which I had to pay $100 for traffic school so it didn't go on my record and jack up my car insurance. I got pulled over on Sunday, just outside of Pigeon Forge, 58 in a 35-mile-an-hour zone. Do you know how much the ticket is?
You were hauling balls. But how much?
$94.50.
$100.
But here's the best part. Because I don't have anything on my driving record in Tennessee, all I have to do is call the courthouse and tell them that I have nothing on my record, and they will waive everything and only make me pay the court fees of $50.
Nice.
As long as I don't get another ticket in the next 6 months. If I get another ticket in the next 6 months, then I have to go back and pay the rest of the 90.
So it's like a warning. There's a warning.
But yeah, $50. $50 for getting pulled over for speeding. The best part is it's about an hour and 20 minutes from Pigeon Forge to Kingsport. Got pulled over, got speeding ticket in Pigeon Forge. Bummer. Went to Buc-ee's, then drove home. Right when we got off the freeway, got pulled over again. This time I got pulled over because the tag light was off on my car.
Oh boy.
The tag light.
Boy, they're out hard.
The little light that's
They're out hard, man. That's wow.
So now
You fishing?
He let me off with a warning. And I'm like, A, what are the chances that you get pulled over twice in one night? And why the fuck are you pulling me over for a tag light? So, shit you not, we get home, and 5 minutes after we get home, I get an Amber Alert on my phone that they're looking for a black four-door sedan.
There you go.
I was like, son of a bitch, they thought I was like some child abductor. Freaky. I've never been pulled over twice in the same day in my entire life. And
I have, but I was you got to understand, I've been a troublemaker for a long time, man. I've been a rebel. And then I grew up in a small town where, everybody knew who you were. So once you got caught doing something wrong once, it didn't take long for the sheriff to go down and tell his deputies, hey, watch out for this kid in a Camaro.
I got caught going so fast, they arrested me.
No shit, huh?
Yeah. California.
Doing well
Just
over
so
100.
California, over 100 miles an hour, automatically getting arrested and going to jail.
They consider that running.
If you're young and lucky, and the judge takes pity on you because you're retarded,
Because you're stupid.
he will reduce it to a misdemeanor instead of a felony 3 evading, which was like 7 years in prison or something like that. Like, fuck, dude, I was just driving fast on the freeway at like 3 o'clock in the morning where there was literally nobody else around. Yeah. So yeah, that was, I thought that was interesting that a speeding ticket in Tennessee in 2023 is like 1/4 the cost of a speeding ticket in California, like circa 2008.
I don't even want to talk about. I can't even remember. I think I was living in Fort Collins. It must have been 10 or 12 years ago, and I was driving my Samurai, and I had a little bit taller tire on it, and I wasn't paying attention. I was just driving up the hill, and I guess I was giving it a bit more gas than I should have been, and got pulled over in my Samurai. Never felt so fucking stupid. A Samurai is not that fast. I got news for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was, yeah, because I mean, when I got pulled, because, you know, literally, like, we're getting off the freeway and I see the lights behind me and the siren goes on. And I was like just getting out of his way because I was, you know, I'd already gotten pulled over like an hour beforehand. I gotten pulled over. And I was like, there's no way. I was behind a car and we were getting ready to get off the freeway. There's no way I was speeding. And even when I was back there was nobody around and I was only doing like 70 and the speed limit's 70. So I was like, I'm not speeding. So like I pulled over to get out of his way because it's just a little 1-lane off ramp, and he pulled in right behind me and I was like, are you shitting me? I'm getting pulled over again? What the hell? Because I was about to get kind of like pissed off about it. And then it was like, yeah, you get pissed off and you're getting a ticket, a second ticket for sure. And you don't want to fuck up only having to pay him $50 for the speeding ticket. So just be cool. And then he walked up to the passenger.
That's what I'm saying. When he was at, like, I don't know, it would have been obvious to me when he's like, hey, your license plate light is out. I'd have been like, dude, you're fishing. You're fishing. What is it? Like, don't play me for a fool right now.
I was just trying to be cool. I've seen.
I wouldn't have said that to him. You just agree. Yeah. No one has ever held accountable.
Yeah.
Propaganda.
Well, you know what? I
don't know. I've paid a couple speeding tickets. I think. Yeah. No, I've paid speeding tickets.
The UPenn president, who just got fired,
the same
after
thing.
Her congressional testimony. I think that's a good step in the right direction. I think colleges need a big kick in the ass right now. But yeah.
And it just depends on what you're doing. Can you write things? No, it still counts as you say. You have the right to remain silent. So you wrote it on a notepad for me and told me to fuck off, Your Honor.
I think Dave Chappelle still has the best bit about getting pulled over by a cop with he's in the car with his white buddy, and they get pulled over, and he's talking about how he's like, man, this guy just say whatever the fuck he wants, and that cop doesn't care. And he's like, I'm sitting over there in the passenger seat like, oh, dude, look at But yeah, I think it's kind of screwed up all of the people that make the videos, like giving cops a hard time. Some of the cops are kind of douchey and they deserve it.
I don't think you should go out there and troll police. I don't think that's a good idea.
It's a shitty enough job as it is. And you're talking about a bunch of guys who are stressed out enough. Do you really want to? Do you really want to fucking poke the bear? You know, I don't care if you got a law degree from Harvard and you know the Constitution, you know the this, that, and the other thing, but let it go. Just let it go.
Well, and there's a time. I mean, it's an unfortunate situation, but there's a time and a place to argue, to make your argument, and it's not right there on the side of the street. On the side of the street, you might as well just kind of let him. I mean, without giving yourself away or anything, but yeah.
And it's right there, and every cop says it when he gives you the ticket. Sign here. It's not an admission of guilt. It is just the fact that you are accepting this piece of paper that I'm handing you. That's all it is. It's like signing for a FedEx package. You can go to court and you can argue with a fucking judge all day long and get that ticket thrown out. But yeah, the guy that's standing on the side of the road that has like a 1 in 17 chance of getting fucking mowed down while he's standing there, or shot at, or somebody throws a bag of shit at him or whatever. Yeah, fucking give the guy a break.
Well,
I make fun of cops all the time, donut eating fat bastards, but you gotta respect their authority.
Well, up to a point. I mean, there are cops that take advantage of their authority too. I mean, it's like you got to know your rights as well, but you can't. You got to be careful about your argument on the side of the road. You got to be careful about where you stand and how you stand, because let me tell you, motherfuckers will just tase your ass and put you on the ground anyways, whether you thought you were right or not.
And I mean, Mr. Brown, I did the same thing. I went for a couple ride-alongs, and it is a shitty job. It is a shitty job that I've told my wife a bunch of times. You don't ever, as a cop, you don't ever get to see the best of people.
No,
you only see them at their worst. You see them like, after they just got beat up by their husband, or, their fucking kid just got shot in a fucking drive-by, or, arresting some fucking robbery suspect or a crack addict, or, I mean, all day long, that's all they deal with is shit all the time. So is their authority every once in a while because they're having a bad day? I'll give you that. I'm okay with that. Mr. Police Officer, I'm terribly sorry that I was going 58 miles an hour in 35 mile an hour zone that I thought was a 55 mile an hour zone. But I'm not going to argue with you. Give me a fucking ticket. I'll pay the $50 and I'll go about my business. And I'll be fine.
Yeah, cops are people too. And that's the thing about it. It's funny that YouTube doesn't want to say that. I don't know why. Our county sheriff's car accident. Single.
They didn't put that through.
Apparently, YouTube didn't put that through.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of everything else, be a cop that shows up first at a fatality car accident.
Well, especially if like kids are involved or something.
Yeah, well, family in their minivan just got smashed by a fucking semi truck.
And you're out doing donuts in the fucking parking lot. Just to be a dickhead.
Yeah, I mean, I give, you got to give respect where respect is due. And anybody that wants to take that job, it's like signing up for the military. You do that voluntarily. And that's a shitty job, too. Fucking war sucks. And if you volunteer to go do that, that's a fucking shitty job. You got to give respect where respect is due. Are there going to be some people who take advantage of that shit? Of course there are, always. But, I think a majority of the cops in this country are somewhat decent people who are out there just, most people who want to go, they want to be cops because they want to do something good. They want to help. They want to catch bad guys. They want to put criminals behind bars.
Either that or they're egotistic.
That too. I want to walk around with a fucking gun and scare the shit out of people. Kind of got to respect that too.
Like I said, I worked with the guy like that was like, their child is dead. Yeah, that's the real fun part, let me tell you. But like I said, man, those people have to deal with real shit on a day-to-day basis, and you're gonna come up and try to harass them or defund them or something. I mean, come on, man.
So that you can get views on your fucking Instagram account.
I'm gonna troll them with my Dodge SRT Hellcat,
Yeah.
Like, look, I know you think you're out there having fun, and you outran the cops and everything. That's great, but all you're doing is wasting people's fucking time, really. I mean, you're wasting good people's time. What about the rest of us who actually need help?
That's to me was always the defund the police thing that was so aggravating about people who were like, police, we need to defund them. Then,
excuse me?
Like fucking Alyssa Milano, you got millions of dollars, you're a big name actress, you're on Charmed and all this shit. You're out there blabbering on about fucking defund the police. Yet when a dude jumps over the fence at your fucking estate, the first thing you did was call the police. Because look, what it boils down to, police are our, for us civilians, is basically our first line of defense against criminals. Take the police away, things are going to start to suck really quick. And I think everybody sees that in the last 2 years, 3 years, things have started to suck
really quick
because we're not doing anything with freaking criminals. We're not doing anything with them. We're just letting them run amok. In the history of bad ideas, decriminalizing shoplifting is about the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Oh, as long as you don't steal more than $900, we're not going to do anything to you. Really? That's why you have mobs of people running into fucking Gucci and Macy's and Neiman Marcus and places like that in big cities. Groups of them just ransacking these places, grabbing whatever they can, and then just running out. Good idea. Good idea. Decriminalizing. That's a good idea. Yeah, it's kind of like decriminalizing drugs. All drugs. City of Oakland. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Oh, shit. Now we have like fucking 50 people a day who are dying from fucking heroin OD and cocaine OD.
Unfortunately, I'm going to need more than the 4 of you who are watching to help me run into a GameStop and grab.
Well, I mean, it was what was it, 3 or 4 months ago that the TikTok kid, 20-something years old, announced on his TikTok that, in 2 hours, I'm going to be at this place and I'm going to be giving away a PlayStation 5.
I saw that. And they basically came and like mugged him. I mean, they basically...
They damn near fucking killed him. And then it turned into a full-blown riot where, like hundreds of thousands of dollars of shit was destroyed. It had it just been that you allowed the NYPD to just beat the shit out of a bunch of people, just pull them freaking billy clubs out and start knocking people the fuck out, pepper spraying them, tasing, just running through the crowd, knocking people the hell out, tasing them, doing whatever. That shit will only happen once because they'd all be afraid to do it the next time. Oh shit, them cops got fucking rowdy the last time we tried to do some of this crazy shit. Get them on fucking horseback and trample a couple people, break some arms and legs, and
3 times a year.
God damn.
What are we trying to see, God? Are we trying to see the Maker? Is that what we want, motherfucker? Or we're just trying to get high? I've been there too. I had a friend who was just trying to get high, and he hit the floor, and his mom took him to. She thought she thought he had tried to kill himself, so she took him down to the psych ward. So he's sitting in the psych ward getting sober, and he's like, "Dude, this fucking shit sucks. I didn't have any intention of killing myself. I was just trying to get fucked up."
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have an epidemic. We have an epidemic of mental illness in this country, and we have an epidemic of drug use, and the two are connected. I mean, look, smoking weed is not drug use. I'm talking about fentanyl, crack. I mean,
watching Propaganda's channel.
I'm not pro-cop, but not anti-cop either. I honestly think that the justice system is so bogged down with all of the bullshit. The people who are out there, suing fucking McDonald's because they spilled hot coffee in their lap. And
that's a joke. That's a fucking joke. Those are just people who are fishing for money.
There's so much of that shit that's happening that the court system gets so bogged down that look, I can see why the district attorney of Los Angeles doesn't want to prosecute anybody, because they got enough fucking bullshit to deal with. I mean, the guy's a douchebag to begin with, but they have so much other bullshit to deal with. Yeah, you know what? If a lawyer comes in and this guy did a drive-by shooting and he killed 3 people, yeah, you know what? Instead of going to court, I'm gonna plea bargain so that the guy spends 20 years in jail. Away you go. No court, no trial, no da-da-da. He just goes to jail for 20 years and then we don't fucking worry about it after that. But that's because he's got 40 other court cases he's got to fucking deal with, half of which are just fucking stupid shit. Get the stupid shit out. George Bush wanted to do it back in fucking 2002 with tort reform, which was all these bullshit lawsuits and liability suits and all of this shit. We put a cap on it. Malpractice for a doctor. Doctor accidentally cuts off the wrong finger. You know what? That's going to cost you, doc. But you can't sue for $2 billion because you lost a finger. Okay, you know what? He took out one of your fucking kidneys accident. That's going to, that might cost you a couple $100,000.
You can live without one, though.
$40 billion because you lost a kidney. Hey, man, you got another one. You could survive with that. But yeah, they need to, the whole thing needs to be fixed. And what they need to do is they need to stop incentivizing big universities like Harvard and Yale and Georgetown and places like that to keep cranking fucking law students out like it's a goddamn McDonald's. And our government does incentivize that. They allow these universities to, 70% of every student in college over the last 30 years has been law students. Fuck, we don't need that many lawyers. Honestly, we need more welders and heavy equipment operators and fuck, we need more people to work at McDonald's. McDonald's didn't have to worry about getting fucking sued every 6 months by some jackass Harvard grad student. They might be able to pay people that work at McDonald's $40,000, $50,000 a year.
You got people coming in and making their own food now and throwing fries at people and all kinds of other dumb shit.
Well, now they've gone to the point where California's forcing all the fast food places to pay their people $20 an hour. So what's the first thing that McDonald's said? Well, we're not going to have people taking your order anymore. It's just going to be a kiosk. Oh, well, yeah, shit, we just got rid of 30% of our workforce. You know why? Because I got to pay the rest of the other fuckers in there $20 an hour. Now, instead of having 30 people that work at your McDonald's, now you have 20 people that work at your McDonald's. You didn't help anybody by upping the minimum wage to $20. You actually cost 10 people their job.
Yeah, you go into a place and there's two people working. You got the kid at the register, the kid in the back, and it's like neither one of them knows what the fuck they're doing. They're both fucking high. And I mean, don't get me wrong. When I was their age, I was working in the back of a kitchen high too. But at least I was flipping the fucking burgers and getting this shit out the window. I don't understand. That's the part. Like,
and let's all face it, the quality of fast food has gone way down. Quality has gone way down. I went to fucking Sonic last week, and
well, and Sonic food was never great to begin with in the first place.
And I didn't go into it with any expectations.
I heard some of the breakfast was decent, but
I won't go to Hardee's anymore because they took that whole campaign thing that if it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face. They took that way too seriously because now it looks like somebody literally just shit a fucking hamburger in a package. It's a mess. And it's just, they put so much shit in there. It's just, it was like, what the fuck is this? It's supposed to be a hamburger. It looks like somebody diarrheaed in a bun. McDonald's, again, you don't expect much. It's fast food.
some days it's hit and miss with McDonald's. That's how I feel. Like some days I can get it there and the fries are okay and the burger's all right and the Coke's nice and fresh, but sometimes you come in and the fries are shit and your burger's shit. And
Yep. And I mean, I have places here that I'd never been to before because they don't have them on the West Coast. Bojangles. Bojangles. It's a chicken joint. You know, they put chicken in a box. How difficult is it to make fucking chicken strips?
Chicken.
It literally, you open up a plastic bag, dump it in the fryer, pull the thing out, and then tong it into a box, and it still looks like a half-trained monkey did it.
How is it we're talking about fried chicken and there's only 2 people watching?
I don't know. Fried chicken is delicious.
Fuck, man. Where's the bacon?
I mean, and then there's the non-fast food places like your Five Guys and your In-N-Outs and, you know, places that charge you $15 for a hamburger, but at least they take the time to have some presentation to it. It's not like they threw the patty in the bun from across the room.
See, bacon will bring them back. See, you know.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of bacon.
Chicken strips wrapped in bacon. Does that sound good? Anyways.
Shotgun shells. Have you ever heard of shotgun shells?
I mean, I know what shotgun shells are, but I don't think that's what we're talking about here.
It's mozzarella cheese wrapped around with bacon wrapped around it, fried.
That sounds delicious.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's literally, if I ate too many of them, I feel like I probably would have had a heart attack, like just right there. But
is it like the first time I had White Castle, I could feel it like pumping through my veins?
Yeah,
like that, like where you can you just like feel
like if you held your fingers up and plugged your ears, and then you could hear the voice inside your head saying, "You fucked up." I am starting to believe that no matter what it is, if you deep fry it, it will be delicious.
Probably.
Deep fry.
I think the Minnesota State Fair was big on deep fry. I mean, like everything. Like, what do you want to like? Deep fry your shoe. Here, we'll try.
I tried a couple of odd things. The shotgun shell. Shotgun shell was good. Deep fried Oreo, questionable, because they deep fry the oil in the same oil as the shotgun shell, so you get a little bacon mozzarella cheese flavor in your Oreo, which isn't. And then
put that out of a different bucket, but that's all right.
Deep fried butter. I'm not exactly sure who came up with the idea to just take a stick of butter out of the fridge and deep fry it. It's magically delicious. I mean, it is like it's a guilty pleasure. There's only one person watching now. I said deep fried butter, and everybody's like, "We gotta go. I gotta go." Deep fried butter. It's ridiculous. I'm just saying. Deep frying everything is a bad idea, but some of it's good. It's just good. Sometimes you just have things because it tastes good. Doesn't matter if it's killing you while you eat it. It just tastes good.
The only other thing I wanted to talk about responding to people in social media. I think that was the only thing that I had. But I was trying to think. I know we should probably, happy holidays, blah, blah, blah.
Everybody's going to get enough of that from everybody else on YouTube. And it's funny. I've been watching some YouTube videos on stuff that I don't normally watch. Oh shit! Deep fried Twinkie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a legend. deep fried Twinkie. I've heard about it, but I've never actually seen anywhere where I could get. I would eat a deep fried Twinkie.
Go to the Minnesota State Fair.
That shit's probably delicious.
Cheese curds. I think I had the cheese curds at the State Fair in Minnesota were the fucking bomb.
Yeah.
Just, wow.
I mean, like funnel cake is awesome.
But eat that shit and then try to go on the roller coaster or something.
Oh yeah. See, I won't go on roller coasters or any rides at state fairs because I had the luxury 1 year of helping to track prep at Ventura Raceway for the Ventura County Fair race. So we were there watching them set up all of those rides. And I was like, nope, I'm never stepping foot on one of them fucking things ever, 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 ever. So it was like watching these guys, like there's a bolt that needs to go through this hole and there's just wailing on it with a freaking sledgehammer. Bang, bang, bang. And if it wouldn't go in, they would just fucking leave it. And like several nights later when we're walking with them, like, fuck, that bolt's not even in the hole. It's still sticking out. Oh. And I've seen way too many YouTube videos now of rides breaking down to where, yeah, I can't. I watched at Disneyland California Adventure. There was what the hell is the name of it? Because it's the Incredicoaster now, the Incredibles ride, and it has a loop in it. And we were there, and I think I was pretty much roller coastered out by that point. So my wife and daughter went on it, and I was just standing down there, kind of waiting. And I watched that section of that coaster every time the train would go through there, and that thing would move, I'd say a good 18 inches. And I was like, oh my God, it's Disneyland. It's Disneyland and their ride moves around that much. That's kind of scary. It's a predicted worldwide earthquake based on scripture, so get ready. Oh man, Christ brought his sword. I've been eating bad. I can tell you propaganda. I have gained like 15 pounds since I moved to Tennessee. And part of it is because I have embraced Southern food culture.
It's funny that YouTube blocked you, Christ.
Christ brings a sword got blocked? Are you kidding me? Because you're not allowed to say Christ. Oh. Or it's just
Is that Max Headroom as your
That is Max Headroom.
That's a great picture for definitely brings in the whole Christ brings a sword. It just brings it all together.
That is a great profile pic. Once New Year starts, back to healthy eating again. Just had a Coke and some cookies. Oh man, propaganda. Like, I don't know, over the summer when the Buc-ee's opened, and I went to Buc-ee's for the first time, and I think I dropped like $200 at Buc-ee's, which is essentially just a glorified gas station convenience store. I ate an entire bag of beaver nuggets on the drive home. I was disappointed because I didn't have any more beaver nuggets when I got home because they're delicious. And beaver nuggets are everything unhealthy that's unhealthy in the world.
I'm trying to figure out how he didn't have anything to drink with all those cookies and Coke. I mean, that Coke up your nose and all the cookies in your mouth, you'd think he'd be washing it down with something, but I mean...
Buried in the backyard.
Have a good night.
Hey man, you too. Have a great night. You guys enjoy
your holidays.
Yep. Hey, it's
your holidays. Enjoy your holidays.
enjoy your holidays. Have a very Merry Christmas. But it's something my wife and I do every night. It's we have TV time every night, just her and I, where we will spend 30
I
or
was going to
45
say eggs
minutes.
Benedict. You have that every night.
No, we have just we watch something, and it's just our 30 or 45 minutes of us just hanging out with one another. No kids around,
God,
nobody
that
else.
sounds
Just
awful. How do you do it?
you know what? It's good. It's healthy for your relationship, and you know sometimes we won't even watch anything. We'll just sit there and shoot
You
the shit.
remind me that I had somebody ask me if I could do the show sober, and I said no. I said, there's no way I'd put up with you people sober.
But yeah, propaganda. I hear that. I need to start eating a little healthier because, like I said, I put on like 15 pounds since I moved here. Partly because I have embraced Southern food culture, and man, food just hits different here. Like Mexican food restaurants here still use lard
Right?
to make shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah, I mean, like all the Mexican food places in California, like they all like got to be like super healthy and no, here you order you some refried beans here and you dig into them things and you're like, oh yeah, that's got some fat in it.
The last time I saw it, I was hanging out with some friends, and they're like, "Yeah, no, when we get together and we're crawling and whatever, we'll make some street tacos." And I was like, "All right, that sounds good." And I didn't really think anything of it at the time, but no, man, they broke out the whole like pan where everything sits and the burner and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought out this block and threw it in there, and I'm like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Oh, you know what that is." And I was like, "Damn."
every year, at when I worked at Titan Manufacturing, every year for Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving on Wednesday, we always shut everything down at 2:00. But the shop foreman and his brother made carnitas every year, and they had this huge, I shit you not, this thing was like 4 foot in diameter, copper pan that they had made in the shop like in the 80s. And yeah, big old chunk of pork.
Yep.
And and then they would just throw his brother would have a little gas burner like griddle, and he'd just be throwing corn tortillas on there. And the day before Thanksgiving, every year we had carnitas tacos.
Nice.
And it was ridiculous.
I want to thank me for being here. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank him for being here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here, Sofa King. And
speaking of that bullshit, sorry, I got to. I want to talk about. I do want to talk about responding to people online. I have to bring this up. It's the spiciest topic I've had all night long, and I've been holding out to the end. You know what? If you post something, this is my own opinion, but if you post something on social media, it's out there for the whole world to see.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody comes along and says, "Hey, your hat looks stupid, fuckface," guess what? There's really not a lot you can say or do because you posted it out there for everybody to talk about. So, I get, like I said, I get responses from people, and I don't. Anyway,
well, now I understand.
Size matters. RC, Craig Hawkins, you guys can suck my dick. That's
well, so if you post something on Facebook, because that's where everybody posts is Facebook. So you post something on Facebook, and somebody goes in there and comments on it like, oh, I see you're praising those guys. Those guys are a bunch of fucking assholes. Fuck those guys. And you respond like, why you got to bring your fucking drama?
Don't bring your drama in here.
Hey, no. You posted it. If you posted it, that's like you walking outside and screaming, "Hey, the shit that needs to be said show sucks my balls." Well, you know what? Somebody across the street can say, "You suck my balls." And then that's how it works. I don't like the way you look and you sound lame too. Wow. Yeah, see, I would delete that comment because I have to delete those comments like that because I'm too tempted to write back shit like, you know, go fuck your own face, asshole.
I thanked him profusely. See,
yeah.
kill him with kind. It just depends on how you want to do it. Like if you don't like it, then say, well, then fine. Send me a message and tell me you didn't fucking like it. But as far as I'm concerned, it's fair game. I really don't care what you said. I don't give a fuck if I come in and because you posted it publicly and you thank me profusely. Well, then that was your answer to it. I mean,
I used to have a running joke with my old boss. I don't know if anybody remembers Les Grossman from Tropic Thunder, and the part where he picks up the phone and tells the Crouching Thunder, whoever it is, to go fuck their own face. That
yeah.
Take a UN binding agreement. We used to have a running joke, like whenever. I mean, you work with somebody, you get pissed off each other all the time.
Yeah,
we had a running joke that whenever we got tense with things, whoever the person was that was being the asshole would pull up that clip on YouTube on their phone and just walk into the room and stick it in the other one's face. That's how shit is supposed to be handled. If you're too sensitive because you post something online and somebody doesn't like it and they get, oh, man, you shouldn't be on social media. Social media is the fucking bane of humanity.
I mean, I would tell you not to be on social media anyways, but I mean that's what I got told is I should.
Sophie King, I think that's a good way to handle it. Thank them, and yeah, I don't
know if you want to fuck with them. Do whatever you want to. If you want to answer that like, well, fuck you, then say fuck you. But enough of fucking bullshit. Like don't. I don't know, man. Don't sit there and pretend that shit doesn't happen or something like that. Like
I think people have forgotten that social media is a public forum. Now, public forum means that you're saying something out loud that other people are going to hear. And if they don't like your opinion, they're allowed to say they don't like your opinion. Now, they could be more colorful than that, but essentially that's what it is. Telling you to go fuck yourself or whatever is just a way of telling you they don't like your opinion. When people get all butthurt because somebody comes back and tells them, shut up, douche. Yeah, any comment is a goo pop of comment, unless it was one of my kids catfishing.
Well, even if the dude was serious,
whatever. That would actually be kind of funny.
My problem is nobody wants to comment. Like, stop hitting me off on the side. How's that? Why don't you comment publicly, you motherfuckers?
And that's the thing. JB's been poking the bear for a while on social media, and it always ends up the same. It's always the same. Nobody wants to say anything publicly. Everybody wants to DM you, or they want to, don't bring your drama in here, like you're above it. No, you're not. You responded back with, why did you bring your drama in? That means that you're acknowledging that you're not above it. You're jumping right into it. But you don't have the balls to say, look, JB, I respect your opinion, and I'm sorry that you feel that way. I feel this way. But no, don't bring your drama in here. Fucking social media, it's all drama. It's all drama. Remember when fucking the the Chinese fucked voodoo out of his fucking tire mold and started making his fucking tires.
Yeah.
And homie went on a fucking tirade all over social media, and everybody called him a dick. Like, dude, you're a fucking asshole anyhow, so it's good that it happened to you. And then he got all fucking about, why is everybody fucking picking on me on social media? Because you're a dick. You were a fucking dick before that happened to you. Then it happened to you. It's called fucking karma. Sucks to be you, but it happens.
Good for you. That's what I should do.
I have gotten out of all my Facebook groups. I think I said this a couple weeks ago. I dumped them all, with the exception of like one of the low-C bike groups and like some of my sprint car groups and friends. But yeah, it's kind of why I'm going through cleaning out my YouTube subscription list, because I don't need to be subscribed to like 1,400 fucking YouTube channels, because YouTube suggests all this random shit to me that a bulk of my subscriptions were all RC channels. And quite frankly, I've watched enough fucking RC content for a while. I'm trying to watch some other stuff too, but all I get is
I didn't really have to cancel a lot of shit. A lot of people just blocked me. I've been kicked out of a lot of stuff. And Instagram, a lot of people unfollowed me. I mean, you start saying something that's very unpopular opinion with people.
He's a bear poker. Hey, did anybody Super Troopers? Remember
Bear fucker?
Bear fucker.
Do you need assistance?
That's so fucking bear poker.
Well, and I mean, like I said, to go back to, I'm gonna continue to poke the bear. That's the way it is. I mean, somebody needs to say something. Ain't nobody saying anything. Nobody wants to talk out loud about anything that's negative.
Yep.
I'm like,
everybody wants to pretend like there isn't.
I'm glad that fucking Facebook is such a wonderful Disneyland for you, you fuckface.
One, yeah, everybody wants to run around and act like there isn't things wrong with things. There aren't problems. Like, the RC community is so fantastic. Everybody in the RC community is a fucking angel, and they're perfect and they're wonderful. I can tell you, I am a perfect example of literally how full of shit you can be when you're a part of a fucking nonprofit organization, and how nice you can be, because now everybody sees me when I'm uncut. Most of the time I'm an ass. I was on my best goddamn behavior, and now I don't have to be. But just think about it. Of all the fantastic people in all the RC community, they're always on their best behavior. How many of them are fucking cocksuckers when they're not on their fucking YouTube live show? Being all, please send me money. Send me money for my waffle.
Saying that you were dead or that they were dead. Either way, it's hilarious. It's still hilarious. I'd have gone to your funeral, NorCal.
Hacked your Facebook account to tell people they were dead.
I never met the guy, but he loved RC.
Well, I think that is it.
We'll end on some flowers on NorCal's grave, and
we have thoroughly beaten 2023 to death this year. What a fantastic year, by the way.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So that's what I was going to come away with, this is what I've learned this year, is that you can take a horse to water, but you can't make, we've proved to people that there are lying sacks of shit out there right here in the show. And it's like, I don't know how much more clear I can make it. I really don't. And so that's what I've learned. Like, you go around and you tell people the truth, but people, if they don't want to hear the truth, they won't hear it. They don't care. Yeah.
It doesn't matter nowadays whether or not people are doing the right thing or the wrong thing, as long as they perceive that they're doing the right thing. Elon Musk said it, I think, perfectly a couple weeks ago, right before he told Bob Iger and Disney to go fuck themselves, which is, I'm tired of seeing people trying to look good while they're doing bad.
Right.
And it's the truth. There's a lot of people out there that are trying to look good while they're doing bad. And that's part of the problem with things nowadays. And it's even seeped into our wonderful little RC hobby that doesn't matter if you take people's money and use it for whatever the fuck you want. Doesn't matter. As long as you tell everybody you're doing a good thing. We're doing a good thing here. Saving lives. Serious what we do. Shouldn't make fun of it.
Bringing awareness. We're bringing awareness to autism, Doc.
Yeah. Bringing awareness. Bring awareness to my butt. That's what you bring awareness to. But anyhow.
Prostate cancer. Okay, great.
We have kicked the crap out of 2023 this year, and I think we've kicked the crap out of everybody in the RC community. And yeah, we may not get as many views as other live shows, but this one's the best. Our chat is the best. The people that come and hang out with us are the best. All these other flunkies that do live shows, you all should be over here watching us, showing you how it's done the right way.
Well, this is where Frank gets most of his ideas from anyway, so he's watching. Anywho's niche. I mean, if you had to take away one thing from 2023, what would it be? That's what I gotta ask. Like, what did you learn this year?
Always stop and turn around to see where you've been. Because wherever you're at, wherever you're going, if you forget where you've been, you won't learn how to go forward better. If I hadn't spent this year sort of looking back at shit that's happened, I wouldn't have learned how to move forward with things and recognize things that I don't want to do again. Kind of, I learned more about learning from my mistakes this year, I think, than many years in the past. I've also learned that the name Mike Hawk is fucking hilarious.
Mike Hawk RC, where are you, buddy? Anyways, I suppose it is cold here in the studio. I'm freezing my nipples off.
It was 22 last night. It was 28 this morning when I got up, and it was about 35 degrees in my office here. Ooh. So I have to get up, instantly come down, turn on the space heater, then go back inside, like take a shower, make breakfast, all that, so that it's warm enough in my office just to function. I also learned in 2023 the Buc-ee's is fucking awesome. And they should make way more. There should be more Buc-ee's.
How did I know you were going to throw in more than one?
Mike was experiencing major shrinkage today. Man, if Mike lived in Eastern Tennessee, major shrinkage. It's so cold outside. I got fucking turtle dick. Anywho, now that we've resorted to turtle dick jokes, it's about that time.
That was short.
Yeah. One last zinger in there for 2023. Anywho, hey man, thank you, Mr. JB, for joining me here in this fucking madhouse. Thank you to everybody. I know we're down to 2 people here, but thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody that comes back and watches the show afterwards. Thank you for everybody that comes in and hangs out in the chat. It has been a phenomenal year. It's been a ton of fun doing this show. Way more fun than any other live streams I've ever done before. So, we take a few weeks off, celebrate birth of baby Jesus and New Year's. And we'll be back here January 3rd to talk about what all we did for Christmas or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or whatever it is that you celebrate during this holiday season, and of course, celebrate New Year's. Thank you guys very much. We will see you in a couple of weeks.
Now, you know, my favorite Jesus is the little